agencies investigating and government ordering content takedown and almost blacking out. Even newspapers, magazines, and televisions, and through a backdoor entry of regulating online space, because whatever we are publishing online, whatever we are publishing in print, or whatever we are broadcasting on television, is today being published in the online space. So if you govern online, you've governed everything else. Now, we know that the situation will not change easily. So what is it that we can do? And that's why I was thinking about what the former minister had said, that what has media done? And more importantly, what is judiciary doing? Now again, judiciary, one can say that is a mixed bag. Sometimes they come on swiftly to the rescue. Many times, the justice delayed and justice denied is the maxim that prevails. So therefore, we are definitely left to ourselves. And I guess the most important question for us on a day like National Press Day is, what can we as media do to organize ourselves better? And I think there are some very clear, simple, obvious answers, which is that organizations like Press Club, Editors Guild, all these organizations need to really form a far more cohesive working partnership, so that any and every attack on any part of the country is fiercely opposed. We can do our part. We have to have a much stronger collective action. Efforts like the legal cell, I think, is an important step. At the Guild, we've been very fortunate to have a set of lawyers who've been advising us, who've been filing petitions for us, but it's unfortunately been only Delhi-based. I think there are enough and more lawyers. The alliance between journalists and lawyers who are sympathetic to freedom of speech, I think there is a great power for that. And a lot can be done if the alliance is sort of extended across the country. There are lawyers across the breadth of the country who feel for freedom of speech, who are willing to work on issues pro bono. We need to create that alliance. We need to ensure that every time there is any attack, irrespective of what the outcome will be in the judicial forum, we need to be proactive. And my firm belief is that judiciary may end up disappointing at times, but more often than not, even with delays, even with justice being delayed, eventually there is greater hope there. In fact, many times this questions are asked that, what are statements, guild statements or press club statements, what good are they? And what good is any action on the street? And my own firm belief is that my statements and actions are important, and what the kind of relief we can get at the judicial forum is probably the best means for us to protect whatever little freedom we have here, or to expand the freedom. And therefore, if all organizations like ours can work together, create a much stronger alliance of lawyers, keep knocking at the ministries, keep knocking at the doors of judiciary, keep sending representations to all laws that are, introduced as bills, the outcome will be better than what it would have been otherwise. And of course, the other part is media's own conduct. I think there was a talk, Nati, you mentioned that one of the things that you have as an agenda is working with the press council to update some kind of guidelines. I think media ethics, the way, is there a common code of ethics that we all believe in? I think the only code of ethics that the government uses is the Press Council of India Code of Conduct. And we must admit that is also written by a government. And if you read the fine print of that, code of ethics, that code itself, has points which are written, from the point of the government that, don't report anything which can further incite violence. Now, reporting on a violence for somebody, can say that by reporting on a violence, you have further incited violence. But that is the job that we as journalists are supposed to do. In fact, that's the way ever so often all these FIRs under 153A, 153B are filed. The mere fact of reporting an ethnic violence is itself seen as a crime unto itself. And the Press Council guidelines, I think, at places has these sort of cautious, recommendations that don't do anything which is going to further incite the circulation. So I think the important need for the community the fraternity to come up with a code of ethics that we believe in, that will actually protect our rights, that will actually be a code of ethics rather than be a sermon from a government agency. And if we can sort of do whatever is within our capacity to ensure that such an ethics code is institutionalized across media organizations, journalism schools, I think that will be an important thing. And finally, some amount of diversity in the newsrooms is going to be an important, for long our newsrooms have been, have had the same biases that we talk about, I mean, not so much on gender, but now on ethnicity, on caste. This has been often talked about. I think there have been reports on the biases within the media. The current government and the ideologies of much of media ownership, and I wear a media owner hat as well, and I've seen that very up close, at least on the northern Indian media ownership landscape. The ideology of the current government resonates very deeply with the ownership of media and the editorial leadership of media. So unless the ownership cannot be changed, I mean, it's not easy to change, and it can't be changed easily. But at least the editorial mix of the newsroom can change, and that itself is an important step towards giving voices across, across the spectrum. So whilst we can lament what the government is doing, I guess it's an important day for us to sort of introspect what we can do, and there is enough that we can do. There are steps being taken. So congratulations, Mr. Nati, for setting up this legal cell. Let's work together to expand whatever we can do within this space, and it's an important space to work upon.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. President of the Legal Skills, and we from the Press Club of India, we welcome this suggestion that work with the Press Club of India in future. Definitely in our next endeavor we'll be in touch with you. And also I should not forget the other media organizations also. They should also be involved in this kind of exercise. I will also try to, from Press Club, will try to reach out to them. And in this context, I just remind you one thing that recently what has happened on the media, on a news clip particularly. So after an early morning raid to about 40-50 journalists throughout the country, 4,000 policemen were almost reached landing a terrorist kind of thing. So after that, we held a meeting here. 26 organizations jointly, the director, Mr. Siddharth Bharadarajan, he initiated that draft. We have submitted first to the CGI. 26 media organizations actually signed that petition. It is still pending with the CGI of Supreme Court. After that, we have written to President of India. But it is definitely heartening to know that President of India has directed the Home Ministry and the Information and Broadcasting Ministry to take appropriate action, what was mentioned in the memorandum, and please inform the Press Club what action you have taken. So I have been covering President House for many years, but I don't know what prompted her, but it's a good thing. We welcome her, this initiative. I don't know, today they are also holding a National Press Day program. I hope Vice President is there, Mr. Minister is there. They will be explaining to the media what action they are going to take or they have taken. Till now they have not informed us anything. And we just want to say that whatever we have formed the legal cell, Press Club of India is not about the prerogative of only the elected managing committee. So there are people who work behind the managing committee. They are also part of the team. Former managing committee members, former office bearers, they are also part of our team, and also the members. So you are all welcome to give suggestion to us. It is not that it is only we are doing. We will do collectively, we did. So on this note, I just now request Mr. Siddharth Bharadarajan to say what is his views on the media freedom. Currently what is that? Or you can take it.
Thank you very much. It's a great privilege to be speaking at this event on such an important day. And I, apart from endorsing and seconding what Anand has said, I want to add a few points from my side also. It's often we make a we often, whenever we complain about the very obvious violations of press freedom which are happening. People in government tend to say, no, you're exaggerating, things are not so bad. After all, you are holding this meeting. Caravan is being published, wire is being published, we are not stopping you. And they make a reference then to the emergency of Indira Gandhi, when there was actual press censorship. All of this is being given as a reason why we should not worry. And, there are some friends in the media too who like to keep their head in the sand and believe that everything is fine, things are not so bad. The reality, of course, is that the media today is a divided house. And I'll say a bit more about this later. But I want you all to think carefully about the question of emergency, censorship, press restrictions. It is true that today we do not have, even though India has slipped all the way to 161 in the global press ranking, it is true that we don't have censorship of the Indira Gandhi variety, where either somebody is sitting in the office from government side, getting copy, or copy had to be shown in advance. We don't have that. But think about why you don't have that. The fact is that it is technologically not possible to do the kind of censorship